So, I've talked about this on the broadcast before, but as I'm sure pretty much everybody who hasn't been living in some sort of cave completely disconnected from humanity for the past year knows, um Donald Trump's campaign has filed a bunch of desperation lawsuits in places where they lost to Joe Biden in order to try to get the count reversed, making really wild, baseless accusations of widespread fraud. And so here I already have a few articles pulled up. This is an older one. This is from last week, talking about the lawsuits that they had already tried back then. I had actually already gone over this one in the past, but not in too close detail, and I have a few other articles about other lawsuits also. This is an article that was just published today at 6:30 in the morning from The Hill. And The Hill is straight up just coming out and saying the Trump campaign is seeing their lawsuits absolutely fizzle out. They're totally fucking pointless. They're stupid. So let's find out why. There we go. Sorry about that. So the Trump campaign and its allies on Monday remain engaged in numerous election-related lawsuits more than a week after former Vice President Joe Biden was projected to win the race, even as a scattershot legal effort has fallen very far short of changing its goal of the election result. To date, the litigation has produced very little for the Trump campaign in terms of court wins and has unearthed absolutely no credible evidence that systemic fraud or ballot tampering has tainted the election, as President Trump continues to wildly claim. I'm surprised this isn't just straight up going to his let's see what kind of shit he's spewing right now. Big victory moments ago in the state of Nevada. The all-Democrat county commissioner race on the same ballot as president just thrown out because of a large-scale voter discrepancy. Clark County officials do not have confidence in their own election security. Major impact. Holy fucking copium. And let's see what this verified reply guy, Eugene Gu, I'm guessing is how you're supposed to pronounce that. He's a doctor. And I always love his replies to Donald Trump. They're always so to the point and make such an embarrass out of him. If you bothered to investigate the issue a little bit further, you would know that the local commissioner race had a 10-vote margin of victory and therefore needs a revote. All other races, including for president, have had too large margins to be affected by any small discrepancies. In other words, Trump still fucking lost. Yep. What else do you expect from the president of copium huffing? So let's see what else. Let's see where the Hill, what the Hill is referring to here with this article, because this is more recent than the last time I really read about this in detail, especially on stream. As state and federal vote certification deadlines draw near, and with Biden's win moving further beyond the reach of the courts, some election law experts have increasingly begun describing Trump's legal gambit as a lost cause. Ironic how white supremacists always get caught up in their weird little nutty lost causes that are they're gonna twist this into the lost cause of Donald Trump, just like the lost cause of Confederacy. It's gonna be twisted into this cause, while becoming futile, was a noble one. It was a noble cause meant to stop tyranny, even though it's total fucking bullshit. It's a complete fucking lie. It is all based upon creating cult of personality and then just completely building your reality upon that. And that's basically what these lawsuits are continuing to do. With an overwhelming number of losses and withdrawals of cases, there is no path for the Trump campaign to overturn the results in a single state, much less making up more than 36 electoral college votes. He's completely fucked, according to Rick Hasen, I mean, I inserted the he's completely fucked part at the end, but this is according to Rick Hasen, a law professor at University of California, Irvine. That guy probably knows way more about this shit, about way more about what he's talking about than I do when I'm talking about this shit. But even I, a Joe Jerkoff, am not delusional enough to be able to tell that Trump's fucked here. There's no way that any of these lawsuits are going to overturn the election. This is all so utterly fucking ridiculous. Weeks up to the election, legal experts emphasized that the ultimate impact of any post-November 3rd lawsuits would depend on how close the voting result was. If either candidate won comfortably, they said, it would put the race outside of the margin of litigation. Biden's projected to win 306 electoral votes. The very notion that Trump's legal efforts could reverse the outcome is increasingly at odds with reality. Yeah. The important thing that I'm sure they're going to go on to, and more of it, that they're going to go on to further on through this article, is that all of these lawsuits, I saw a great meme about this. I'll have to find it. Maybe I downloaded it somewhere, but I don't really feel like digging for it while I'm doing a stream. It was a meme. The big ripped Doge meme is the Trump campaign in public, like, oh yeah, and in the news media. Hey, camera, you gonna focus? You gonna focus? Come on. There we go. In public, the Trump campaign people are just like, oh yeah, there is so much widespread voter fraud. We're gonna be able to, this election was stolen from us. We gotta be able to overturn it. We're filing lawsuits. We're contesting this in every way, shape, and form that you could possibly imagine. But then they turn around and in private, in the courtroom with judges, they turn into the little pathetic Doge meme, the sniveling little freak bitch, like, oh, Judgy Wedgie, please, negate the result of this, little group of 200, of, somewhere between 500 and a few thousand ballots that is not going to make any bit of a fucking difference for the result of the state. Please, Judgy Wedgie, please. Ooh, fucking goddamn it. And that's basically my take on all these lawsuits in general, is that it's basically nothing but a bunch of political... Oh, God. Jeffrey. I know you're doing that ironically. But God damn it. Yeah, basically all of these lawsuits are just like political oohing about fucking results and being a sore loser about shit. I find this so utterly absurd that all this shit is going on. And the Trump's campaign... So let's see a little bit more about what the Hill says about it. Trump campaign's continued losses in court have continued to put to rest the fears once held by many Democrats. The newly 6-3 conservative Supreme Court might be called upon to decide the election outcome like it effectively did in the 2000 Bush v. Gore case, which was really bad. Yeah, Trump's modus operandi his entire life is sue people, take credit when everything goes right, and then absolutely never ever take any personal responsibility when shit goes wrong. Absolutely not. Like, I'm pretty sure he's been quoted saying, "One of my secrets of success is never ever take responsibility for anything." Instead, yeah, all this post-election litigation is, according to the Hill, on track to be more akin to the lawsuits that arose after the elections of 2016, 2012, 2008, and 2004. Little remembered legal skirmishes with no bearing on the final result. That's really what it's looking like here when you look at, say, this incident in Georgia, which wasn't even a lawsuit. It was just like a little incident due to people being... Oh, it's what I call everybody has channel points, and rage bucks are just, Rage bucks are just what I call my channel points. You can click on that little rage symbol, and I'll actually do something here real fast. So yeah, you're gonna see it like echoing on top of each other, but yeah, so you can click on the Rage Buck symbol, and then you can do any of these things, like unlock one of my random sub emotes without being a sub, which I only have 2 sub emotes. Highlight your message, modify an emote, choose an emote to unlock, send a message in sub-only mode. I don't know why I have that's one of like the default ones. The only one that's like a custom one that I made for myself is that you can spend 1,200 rage bucks to tell me to go drink some fucking water. But anyways, yeah. There have never been lawsuits with a realistic chance of putting the result within the margin of litigation, said Justin Levitt, a law professor at Loyola Marymount University. The lawsuits that were viable about small procedural issues that don't really matter. The lawsuits that were viable were about small procedural issues that don't really matter that much. And the other law, like, it's important that procedures are properly followed. I will acknowledge that right here. They need to be properly followed. However, when it's these small procedural things, they are almost, it's rare they're going to, like, cost the result of the entire election. And other lawsuits were never ever viable. According to a tally by The Hill, Trump or his GOP allies had filed more than 24 lawsuits in key battleground states following the election, as is how Trump usually does things. When shit doesn't go his way, he whines about it, doesn't take any responsibility, and tries to sue people. That was one state in like 1,500 ballots that could. Yeah, and it's like there was this one thing in Georgia where a few thousand votes were found, and it didn't really. It narrowed the gap by a very between Trump and Biden by a very small degree. It was not anywhere near enough to like actually provide any results. And basically, Donald Trump is making all these wild claims without any actual evidence, and his cult eats it right up. Trump campaign has only succeeded on the merits in a few narrow cases. They have centered on mail ballot extensions, procedures for correcting ballots that initially omitted key information, and the rules about observing the vote count, just to name a few issues. Among the handful of minor victories the Trump campaign notched was by a ruling in the Pennsylvania State Court last week. Judge found the state's Democratic Secretary of State Boockvar had exceeded her authority by giving voters extra time from November 10th to November 12th to supplement incomplete ballots with missing information. It's unclear how many votes this ruling would ultimately result in being thrown out. Biden has a lead of over 68,000 votes now. This isn't gonna make that big of a fucking difference. There have also been a few other tiny wins, according to Levitt, like the ability to move observers from 20 feet back to 6 feet back, and a ruling getting Georgia officials to do what they were already doing and not counting 54 late arriving ballots. Oh boy, 54 ballots, man, that's so huge. Oh my god, I'm gonna shit my fucking pants. That's such an enormous number of ballots. That changes everything. Oh wait a minute, no, it fucking doesn't. That's a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, these aren't really fucking wins. They're just like token victories. In terms of changing the outcome of the 2020 race, none of these wins actually fucking matter. It's ridiculous. Trump campaign maintains it's going to keep up the fight in order to ensure voting integrity, which is basically whine. Continued to submit new legal filings on Monday. Holy fuck, they're getting desperate. This is, as I've said millions of times before, this is people being delusionally high on copium. This is utterly fucking absurd. Our legal avenues to pursue to achieve that goal. When we are successful, we believe the president will be elected, said Jenna Ellis, a Trump 2020 senior legal advisor. Yeah, dude, she probably has a really terrible job. Every American should agree that all legal votes should be counted and all illegal votes should not be. This whole thing of illegal votes is they're making this The problem is they're making these claims about these illegal votes being enough to sway the fucking election when there's just the evidence isn't there. Therefore, Hitchens' razor, that which can be asserted without evidence can also be dismissed without evidence. It's really that simple. And we'll keep going through this article. Current litigation with the most votes at stake are federal suits at PA and Michigan. Experts doubted the Trump campaign's chances in those cases, said even if the campaign prevailed, it would still not be a sufficient number of votes to overturn the state results. There would need to be success in 3 states to reduce Biden below 270 electoral votes. Thus, for a variety of reasons, as a practical matter, the Trump campaign's effort to undo President-elect Biden's victory will be unsuccessful. Trump campaign's legal effort to date has been marked mostly by failure and legal miscues. What a surprise! Something Trump is involved in has been marked with tons and tons of failures and legal miscues, and Donald Trump trying to claim he's just winning the whole time and then file more lawsuits about it and whine and bitch and whine. Many of the lawsuits have rested on allegations that who don't even qualify as being evidence under the legal definition of evidence, and with many claims being based on inadmissible hearsay or pure speculation, like that whistleblower in Erie County, Pennsylvania, who basically the investigator sussed out the bullshit and he recanted. I listened to the audio. That wasn't really coercing a confession. That was an investigator trying to actually trying to reconstruct everything that happened when about this dude's accusation, because that is how investigations are supposed to be. Investigations have to be extremely thorough. In other lawsuits, Trump campaigners' allies have been rebuffed by the courts at times, drawing stinging rebukes from state judges. I want to find some of those opinions. In other instances, the plaintiffs have voluntarily withdrawn their cases. Last week, law firm Porter, Wright, Morris, and Arthur moved to withdraw from representing the Trump campaign in a case brought in federal court in Pennsylvania, challenging the result of the election just days after filing the initial complaint. RIP. Some critics also pointed to Trump's appointment of Rudy fucking Giuliani to head the legal effort as another sign the campaign's court fight was on its last legs. God, yeah, and Rudy Giuliani, that dude's fucking lost it. That guy is down the rabbit hole beyond the point of ever being retrievable. That dude, I don't understand how that dude went so. He's always been like a scumbag, but he just really lost his shit. My joints feel kind of achy today. Some experts said, no shit, the campaign has ulterior motives for prolonging the court fights that are unrelated to changing the election outcome. It's a vehicle to extend the fundraising and soothe an immense ego, says Levitt. Oh, yeah, I totally agree with that. It's a way to keep a fight in the press, even if the real fight is over. Yeah, that's spot on. The whole point. Others suspected the delay tactic was an effort to stall the state certification process and hope that GOP-held legislatures might engage in a long shot to bypass the popular vote and certify the election on Trump's behalf. But recent reporting described top Republican lawmakers in those states as seeing no role for the legislatures in choosing a winner. Oh, yeah, that is a scary possibility, but still kind of doubt it'll happen. What's more, the lawsuits, even if they continue to release, are not likely to interfere with the actual state certification process. I do not think any state will stop its certification process, absent a court order requiring them to do it, said Richard Pildes, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that, law professor at NYU. Disappointed candidates cannot seize control over the critical process of reaching a final official vote count simply by filing lawsuits. That's big right there. But here's the problem with all these lawsuits, though, and the shitstorm controversies that they're stirring and all these baseless accusations is, regardless of any victories or losses by Donald Trump and his campaign in the courthouse, anywhere, the damage is already done. Donald Trump has already completely undermined our electoral process by making huge issue out of things that things that are like completely normal. And in terms of like things relating to like voting machine software and electronic versus paper voting and shit like that, I'm going to do another segment another time about my opinions on all that shit on election systems. But the damage is done. Donald Trump has really undermined the American method of having these elections with then like a peaceful transfer of power without any sore loser bullshit. By wildly spewing these claims without any evidence after he built a cult of personality around himself and is essentially acting like a fucking despot with a cult of personality in some country that we would scoff at as Americans normally. The societal damage is already done. There's going to be people are going to be yelling and screaming about this shit for years, regardless of how successful much of a failure of success any of these lawsuits are. It's going to be like how they were with Hillary Clinton and Benghazi. How shit tons of like investigations led mostly and spearheaded mostly by Republicans and tons of hearings and shit ruled that she really was not the person at fault for what the fuck happened in Benghazi. They're going to hold on to these election lawsuits like they're latching on to that as just their new thing to hate the enemy of the personality cult that they've built around Donald Trump, this mythical monolith of the founding fathers and the Constitution of the United States. That is how ultimately I view the American right wing now, as Russians designed this forum to place doubt upon our whole system and democracy itself. Donald Trump is their biggest success of the useful idiot program. Yeah, I mean, disinformation campaigns from the Internet Research Agency. I've even seen other lefties try to be like, Russiagate was a total lie, though. It actually wasn't. Like, there were multiple people arrested and successfully convicted on things relating to Russian interference in the 2016 election. And just read about the fucking Internet Research Agency out of St. Petersburg. These election lawsuits and whatnot, they're all basically part of and also consequence of that kind of shit. These lawsuits, regardless of whether they succeed or miserably fail, they have sown discord. They have undermined public confidence in the political system, which was already plenty undermined for it was already undermined plenty for totally valid reason. What I mean here is undermining it based on falsehood, based on shit that has no evidence, as opposed to the already diminished confidence that is totally acceptable and valid because of our two-party duopoly that totally fucking sucks and is just ultimately ends on two different sides of corporatocrat morons shitting on people. But this idea that Donald Trump was the fucking savior, that was utterly absurd. Now we're going to be fucking facing the consequences forever. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw here, be sure to like and subscribe and go over to my Twitch channel for live broadcasts. If you would like to support future videos and live streams, go on over to my Patreon. I got links in the description below. Thanks again. Fuck. I can't speak right now. God damn it. Fuck.